Hey everybody, this is Jennifer Pertner, and I'm doing a training today on some of the basics of Travefy. So I have used Travefy for probably a year and a half, maybe closer to 2 years. But I really like it, and there's a lot of different things that I want to go over with you today. So I'm kind of just starting off with the basics, and then we will go from there. I do have additional trainings on this that I'm going to go into more detail, but for today, we're just going to start learning the basics. So basically, when you come into Travefy, this is what you're going to see. You're going to have a platform here, and it does look a little bit overwhelming because there's a lot of information on here. But once you start using it, it gets a lot easier. Up here at the top are your main points that you're going to want to notice, right? And that's where you're going to navigate throughout the whole site from there. This button right here, I guess that doesn't do anything because I just clicked on it and it didn't do anything. Okay, perfect. So your profile is over here, and if you want to change stuff, this is where you're going to do it, right? So you can put your logo in, you can put your picture in, you put all your information in here. Yeah, so there's your logo, and this is where you edit it. And then you also have your bookings, which this is new and it's not something that I have used yet. So I'm not really sure how you do that or how that would help me with my business, but you can put in sales and what you've received and how to and keep track. I know with commissions and things like that, but I have not played around with that yet. It's a very new feature. And then here is another new feature. Yeah, nothing was found because this is a very new feature and I have not done anything with this. So this is for collecting planning fees and stuff like that. But like I said, this is one of their new features and I haven't um, played around with it yet. And then you have your account. And this is where you're going to put in your payment method and what you're going to be charged. Now, I will say that if you give anyone your referral code and they sign up with Travefy using your referral code, you will get credit on your account. So I know that somebody had used my referral code one time, so I was able to save some money because this was like the original price was $346, and I was able to get it down to the 241. I think that was with one referral code, and then if you are part of Travel Leaders Network, which we are, they will give you an additional $50 off. When you are first signing up for Travefy, back when I signed up, like I said, about a year and a half ago, if you signed up for an individual consultation with one of their support staff, they also gave you some money off. And I want to say it was another $50, or maybe 25, but I was always like, yay, whatever they'll give me off is great, right? And that one-on-one time, it did help me answer some questions. It helped me get started. So I highly recommend that as well. And I will also say that for Travefy, their support program that they have is amazing. If you see down here this little blue button, you can click on it, their chat button, and you can send them a message. Obviously, right now it's probably like after hours, but if they don't get back to you like right away, they always get back to you the next day. And it's always very helpful. So they're always able to answer whatever questions I've had with them. So that's another great feature, I feel, of Travefy. Okay, so now we're also going to look over here at this learn button because this is how I learned how to use all these fun features in Travefy. I basically came in here and watched all their videos, right? So they have these getting started guides, which are great. And a lot of them are pretty short, like, oh, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So they were very helpful for me. And that's how I learned. So I do recommend if you're having trouble or if there's a specific, point that you're wanting to learn specifically about, you can come in here and learn from these. They also have a YouTube guide, YouTube channel, whatever, that you can go and look at um, additional videos. My goodness, my husband. I hope you guys didn't hear any of that. Anyway, moving on. Um, okay, so you can use some of these things that are great. So now we're going to go back to our trips page. Okay, so here is, if you just click on the trips page, you will see that on this side we have the trips that I have. And you kind of think of the trips as like a folder, right? Like if you were working with a customer, the folder would be whatever their name is. And then in that folder, you're going to build some different quotes for them, right? Or proposals is what they call them within that trip. So let's look at one that I have been working on. Okay, this one is a good one. So I'm going to show you the archived versions because here you can see that I had given him 3 different options. I gave him some different hotels with some different flight options. And so I basically named his trip his name, and he's coming to Fort Myers. And then within that trip, he had 1 proposal, 2 proposals, 3 proposals. So I gave him 3 different proposals. Okay, and the way you build those is right over here. Each time you start a new trip, you're going to get 1 proposal that's going to just pop up. And then you're going to name it and you want to edit it. You click on edit, and that's where you're going to enter all the information. You can change this photo. And what I love about Travefy is they have a lot of different options, right? So you can have saved photos. You can search for a photo from, like, they have stock options. So you can put in, like, I don't know, bridge. And it's going to pop up with all different kinds of bridge photos, and if you can pick whichever one you want, right? You can also upload photos from your computer. Websites, I have not really played too much with websites, but you can also paste images in here if you just copy them from somewhere and then you can just paste them in. So there's a lot of different options and ways for you to put those pictures in. And the saved is nice because, like, these are some of, like, I have a lot of people that cruise to the Bahamas. So I just kept a picture that I like to use for Bahamas and a cruise picture. And, I have a lot more that I probably could add to this. But anyway, so that's a newer feature also that Travefy just started using. Okay, then in this proposal, you're going to start with the date, right? So you're going to choose whatever date they're going. And then in that date, you're going to add on the events. So if I click right here, you can see that you can add on all different, whatever it is that you're putting into their proposal, right? You can put an activity. If you are doing a tour, you can take the number directly from Viator and you can put it into the tour in here. So what you do is you find Viator and you can see there's a whole bunch of different options. And then you put in that product code and then you say add, and it pulls the whole description up for you. It's not going to put a price in. You have to put the price in. And I don't think it puts a time because sometimes, you have to choose a time or whatever, but it puts in all the information, which is great. I will add that it also puts in a booking link to Viator. And if in the past, if the customers clicked on it, it did not take it back to my personal Viator link. So I always remove that because I want them to book it obviously through me, right? So just watch for things like that. But if you're going to put in like lodging, you can just type in a name and it comes up with, all kinds of information. You can, whatever, you put in, then you add it to itinerary and it pulls up the hotel information. So like this one was Wood Spring Suites. That's a small hotel in my area. This doesn't look like it had, yeah, this didn't have much information on this hotel, but it does have the address and it does have how to get there. Let me show you another one that has more information. And again, if you wanted to add to this, you can edit it and you can put in, more photos. You can add in whatever, you want to do to make it a little more appealing if you want to. Let me pull up his other one. I said archived. So that's the one he chose. So these were some of the others that I had given him. Let's look at this one. Oh, is it gonna, unarchive? Okay, it's not gonna let me. Okay, there we go. Let's say we're gonna edit it. So again, these were just some different options of flight, sorry, and then the car rental, and this was the Holiday Inn. So see, this one had information about it. So it had, a little blurb, whatever. Doesn't look like there's very many pictures for that one, but each hotel is different. I'm telling you, it's just because it's here, little Fort Myers. That's where I live. Okay, let's see. I'm going to show you another one. Maybe the third time will be have good pictures. I don't know. Let's see. Unarchive. All right, let's look at this one. Edit. Okay, here we go. This one has some really good pictures. So you can see that this one talks about what it is, and it has lots of different pictures down here. Usually when you pull in the hotels, it does pull up a whole bunch of these different nice pictures. So this is what you normally see when you have pull in those hotels. Okay, and then here you can see I did a car rental. And I just like to put in, what it is, Hertz rental. When you do, you just choose ground transport. Oh, let's see. Okay. And then it comes up with these options, rail, car rental, or other, and you can choose. If it's going to be like a private driver, if I'm scheduling a transfer, I usually pick this other, and then it comes up as, transportation, but it's not rail or a car rental. And then I'll write in, private transfer, whatever, to the airport or however you want to do it. So this was just some different information. And then once I've booked it, I put in their confirmation numbers, right? So let's go back to the one he chose. Excuse me, because that one has, you will be able to see the confirmation numbers. And with the flights too, the flights are really nice because you just click on flight and then you type in whatever the flight is. You click on that and then you put in the number, whatever the flight number is, and it automatically populates it, finds it. Sometimes there's more than one option, so you just have to make sure that you choose the correct one as far as, is it going from RSW to, Atlanta or vice versa, because sometimes they fly there and back all in the same day. And so you just have to make sure you choose the correct one. So then you just enter it. And I mean, you can enter it manually. The nice thing though about this is it's updated. So like you can see right here, next update check is going to be February 6th, which is tomorrow. So here is where I've put in like his confirmation numbers. Here's, the numbers for Hertz and his confirmation number for his hotel. So that's really nice for your customers because then they have all their information like in one place, right? And they access this platform through an email invite. So once you're ready to send them this information, you can share each individual itinerary if you want to, or you can put all three together into what they call a decision. And I'm going to show you that right down here because I gave him choices for his trip. So let's see if they come up because some of them are archived. So I'm not sure if they're going to work. All right, let's see. Viewed. Yes, we know it was viewed. How do I do this? Resend. No, I don't want to resend. It's not gonna show you because I've already done this one. Okay, so let's try a different one. Okay, this one I know I gave them a decision. I've given them lots of decisions. Look at all these quotes I've given them. It's ridiculous. Oh my goodness, these two girls. You know, the things we do, right? Okay, let's see. Amazing options. All right, here's a decision. Why isn't it showing their decisions? Dun, dun, dun. This is interesting. What's down here? Can I move this? Add a new. It's supposed to say decisions. Make a decision. All right, you know what? We're just going to do one. Add a new decision. All right, so here's a decision. We're going to call this test decision so that I'll know to just delete it. Okay, so I'm going to pick this itinerary, and this itinerary. So basically, I created those itineraries already, right, before. And again, with the cruise lines, it's just as easy as it is with the hotels. You just click on cruise. I can show you how to do that one next. But then you say, after you've chosen your three, you get these three decisions. I'm going to try to, there we go, get rid of this so you can see. Okay, so it shows them three choices. Here you can add a little summary for each one of them. If you want to say, you know, whatever, you can write in whatever you want. Like, this is a great option because, you know, it's within your budget and it looks like it's on a great ship that has lots of fun stuff to do or whatever. You can use ChatGPT to help you, you know, come up with a little blurb about each one and why you chose it, right? And then underneath it has the different itineraries. And then basically you're going to click up here, continue. You can send forms with your decision. That's a great option if you want to go ahead and send like a credit card authorization form or something, but you don't have to yet. And I'm going to go ahead and put my husband's name in that has my email, and I'm going to send it to myself. Now, another thing I love about Travefy is you can set up customized messages. So right here are some of my saved messages. And if I type in decision, it comes up. One of my messages is a new decision proposal for cruise, new decision proposal for trip. So if I'm doing 3 land trips, I would choose this. And if I'm doing cruises, I'm going to choose this. So then I click on that and it has the little blurb that I've created for the decision. I'm going to type their name in up here. Oh, put my name in because I'm sending it to me. I've loved searching for some great options, blah, blah, blah. I like to tell them kind of what to expect, right? Each one has a quick summary. Make sure you click on view details to find all the information. It's going to tell you lots of information about the ship. And then be sure to scroll all the way to the bottom to find the pricing details. I always like to put the pricing at the bottom because I want them to get excited about the boat, and I want them to get excited about the stops that they're going to be taking, and then I want them to see the price. Okay, this is just an initial step. We can keep making adjustments to fit your needs. All prices are subject to change. Make sure you have that on there, right? Okay, and then I always say, I can't wait to see which option you choose. You and your family will cherish the memories. Yep. Okay, so we're going to send, and then we're going to look at it so you can see what it's going to look like. Mhm. This one is my email. Let's go to here. All right, here we go. Here it is. Very good. So they're going to get an email that looks like this, right? You have new trip options. Yay, your travel professional sent you 3 options. Okay, so this is going to be their 3 choices. Okay, and this is the message that I sent them. And then right here is review options. So I don't think they can click on these. Nope. So they have to click on that review options down at the bottom. And when they click on that, it's going to take them to the same page that we saw. So this is where it shows all the 3 choices, right? And then they can select one. If they want to choose one, they can choose it, and then it'll come back to me and say that so-and-so has chosen this, cruise. Okay, so that is decisions. I love that option. Let's go back to here. We're going to go back to trips. And let me show you real quick how to do the cruises because they are super easy. If we were to add a new, let's see, I think I have a test trip in here. I do. I've done this a few times. Okay, let's see. We're going to edit this. Okay, and we're going to add a cruise. So you just go down to cruise. So they have a lot of different options here. They have this new version that you can search for cruises actually. If you wanted to use this as a way to search, you could put in the date and it will bring up all the different options that are on April 21st. So that's kind of neat because, you might not know that some of these are even available, right? And then you can also narrow it down if you want a certain port. So this is kind of like Cruise Complete, how we can search, for all the different options. I usually start with, because I already know which one I'm going to pick. So I will put in over here, like Royal. Oh, it's not working. I'm going to click here. Royal Caribbean is what I do a lot of. April 21st. I know that's a Tuesday because that's my son's birthday. I don't think there's going to be much. You do have to make sure that your date is not just one day like this. So let's do the 17th through the 2nd. Let's see what comes up. Okay, there we go. Some stuff is coming up. If you know the name of the ship, you can put the ship name in here, but you do have to have your date oh, shish kebab. There we go. Okay, I wasn't ready to click yet. So here's a couple that they have. Rhapsody, Fort Lauderdale to San Juan, Radiance. Let's look at this Freedom of the Seas. So if I click on that, it's going to pull up all these fun things, right? It's going to tell you a little bit about the ship. It's going to tell you accommodations, deck, dining, enrichment, entertainment, health and fitness, kids. You can unclick any of these if you don't want them, if you don't want that on the itinerary. Maybe they don't have kids, so you can click that off, right? If they don't need to know about the kids program. And then the cruise schedule. I mean, obviously, I think you would want that. But anyway, so you say import, and then it brings all this amazing information in about the cruise. I love it. So here is what it's going to look like. All right, we're going to scroll down. So this is telling you about the ship. It's telling you all the stuff. It has a nice picture. Here are all the cabins. And, when I first started this, I was like, oh, I'll just put on the cabins that they want. And then I was like, you know what? No, let me leave all the cabins on there so they can see. Because if it was me, I like to look at all the different kinds of cabins there are, right? And then maybe someday we can book some of these grand suites, royal suites. Yes. Okay. So anyway, we can those are goals that we're striving for. So it has all the different types of rooms. Deck plans, yeah, so it just goes on about dining options. And again, you can take any of these off. You can, add to it, whatever you want to do. More enrichment. This talks about perfect day at Coco Cay. If I click on that, let's see what happens. Okay, so then it gives them a little blurb about what is it, right? So that's really nice for them to have a little bit of extra information for each one of these. We're gonna, yeah, entertainment. So it talks about how it has the flow rider, all this stuff, right? Twisting, turning, adventure, all this fun stuff. And again, information, a little bit of information on each of those. So much information, right? I love it. Health and fitness, kids and teens, useful information. And this is really nice too because it talks about their internet, it talks about autism friendly, it talks about service animals, smoking, age restrictions. I mean, these are things that, some of your customers might have questions and they will have access to all this, which is great. Okay. Um, okay. And then for us, if we want to not have all that information, you can collapse this and then it just shows you the information quickly, right? And then you could just click on each one if you needed to. But that is another option that you can do. So you can expand it or you can collapse it. All right, and then here, information and documents. I always like to put in, this is where I would put in like my pricing information. This is where you're going to put in your cruise ticket contract, right? You want to make sure they have all that information that they need to know if they're booking a cruise. Now, look over here. This is something I do. You don't have to do it, but I like to do it because I just like it to be very I want every day to show up, right? If you don't have anything on this day, you can see it's not going to show. So I always say add events because I want it on their itinerary. And then here's another one, add events, add events. Now I know because look, they're on this cruise. Where are they going here? Nassau. So I know that these 2 days are going to be sea days because they don't have anything else going on that day. So what I do is I go to new event, I click on cruise, and I enter a cruise manually. And all I do is I just write, so you see it's already there, day at sea. Done. And then that way, on their itinerary, they've got their stops, they've got their days at sea, right? So I'll do that again. New event, cruise, and I'm going to enter it manually. And then I just type day at sea. I mean, you could write more stuff on there if you wanted to, right? Like whatever you want. You could put some pictures if you want. I just keep it very simple. All right. And then they've got this. So you can also take these pieces and you can move them. Oh, okay. So we're going to move that down there because that would be where I'd put the pricing information. Let's edit it. And I would say pricing details. And then you can put in whatever you want, on those days. I did see today, I was looking on Facebook and Travefy, I'm part of their group on Facebook, and I watched all the comments that they make and stuff. And I liked one of the girls, she said that she did have like saved information over here about like how she does things, and then she just drags them over. I do have some things saved over here, but I need to add some more stuff to it. Like I could put a thing in here about my insurance. So you can see here, I do have like carnival bubbles, bottomless bubbles. So I can bring that over here, drag it in, and then boom, they've got their information about bottomless bubbles and what it is. So here, I mean, I basically just copied and pasted it from the carnival website of what it is, right? And then if they want to have the cheers package, I can just drag and drop. And then bam, they've got their cheers package. What is it? And again, you can collapse it so that it's not so much. And then here's the options. I also like to let people know, well, for Carnival, you can bring your own sodas on, right? So that's what this is. Bring your own sodas on. This is basically all their options. Let me see if I can expand that. Yep, so I have option one, bring your own. Option two, cheers. Option three, cheers, zero proof. So I have all this information. I don't have to go through it. You guys know. But okay, let's see. What else was I going to show you? Miami. If they go to a private island, this one doesn't because it's a short one, like Celebration Key, I have a little blurb that I can, let's just pretend like they do on this one. I have what is Celebration Key and a nice picture, right? I think if they did go to Celebration Key, they would have Celebration Key as the stop, but I don't think it includes a picture. So I like the picture because I don't know. I guess I just like to have a picture there. But I have it also for like NCL. Here's Harvest K is there one of their other private islands. I have all the MSC drink packages, the MSC Fun Pass. I have MSC's private island. I've actually been there, so I have some of my personal pictures on that one. Um, and then what else was I? Oh, Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day. I have that also with some pictures. So you can, have those things already set in your library saved. And then when you're putting these itineraries together, you just drag them all in, whatever you want to add, right? So that just saves you a lot of time. Okay, so that is a lot of information about cruises, adding them in. All right, let's talk about contacts. Now, this is tricky because if I show people's information as far as like their phone numbers and emails, it will not allow me to put it on Face or on YouTube. And I did this before and I had to just blur it out. But up here at the top, if you click on contacts, it will take you to all your contacts. And one of the things that I really like about Travefy is it lets you enter all their information. You can keep things like their loyalty numbers, their airline numbers, all their different whatever, VIFP numbers, all those numbers. You can keep all that stuff in their, you know, in their file, and their birthdays and their email and their phone number and all that fun stuff too, right? They also have all the forms that you've sent to your customers or that they have sent back to you. So if you need to find, Joe Schmo, what form did he send me? You just click on contacts and you find him and it has all his forms. It also has their emails, which is really nice. If you link your email to Travefy, any email that I've sent them from my Google, my Gmail, it will show up under their contacts, under the email tab. And that's really nice because I don't have to then go to Google and like search for just their name, right? It has all their emails right there in one place under their contact information. I'm trying to think what else it has. You can keep notes for them. Um, so those are some of the nice things that they have in the contact field. So I don't want to click on those to show you just because of, keep people's identity safe. Okay, now let's talk very quickly about forms. So your library is where you're going to keep all of your forms, right? Um, I like to use these labels to organize my forms and all my different stuff, right? So you can edit that, you can make a new one, and you can customize these to, whatever you want it to be. Okay. So that's kind of just a nice way to organize your forms. So let's go to, you can see I have a lot of forms under forms. We did do that one and I showed you the message. So under messages, if you click up here on new library, you can make a new message, right? And these are the different messages that I've created. So here was the one, new decision proposal for trips. Decision, that was decision, yeah, for trips. And then I had one that was new decision proposal for cruises, right? So those were the two that popped up when I searched for the word decision. Um, so these are just some of the different ones. If I'm going to send a credit card authorization form, this is the message that I'm going to send them. And you can, when you click on it, then you can edit it, right? And here is where I made my label. Here is where you edit what you're going to say. I always put my tin leg insurance in with my credit card authorization form because it says, have I offered insurance? And yep, it's right there. I offered it. I mean, obviously, I've probably told them about it before now, but it's there just in case they need to access it. I also have it in my credit card authorization form as well. I have it all over the place. But anyway, so I don't ever want them to say you didn't offer it, right? Okay, so anyway, that's a message. These are messages. So when you go to send stuff to people, for me, I need things done quickly. I can just say quick message, credit card authorization form, bam, and I just type in their name. I skim over it real fast, make sure, there's nothing in there that doesn't apply to them, and then I can send it. I don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time I do a message. So, all right. So these are some of the different, messages I have. Okay, as far as forms go, I got a lot of different forms too, right? I have a vacation quote request form. So you can put that together. It's pretty simple. They do have templates in the marketplace. Like if you go to the marketplace and we put in quote request. Okay, so see right here, travel quote request, something came up, vacation quote request, Europe quote request, Royal. So you can click on any of these and it'll show you what's in there, right? And then you can just say, copy it to your library and bam, you've got like at least a start of something, right? And then you can go in and you can tweak it. And that's exactly what I did. I just went in and I made it to what I wanted it. So that's in the marketplace, and you can do that with a lot of things. You can do that with checklists. So there's all kinds of different ideas, right? For checklists, whatever. You can do it for, I don't know, itinerary. Here's a workflow. So that could kind of tell you like, how to keep yourself on track. I do have a workflow that I do on here. And that's part of my automations. So when I do the training for automations, I'll show you how I do that. I don't know if that's next week or the following week, but I can't remember. Okay, so back to library, back to forms. Let's look at, yeah, vacation quote request form. Okay, so here I have like a little, oh, you know what? Let's do it this way. Let's preview it because it's a lot better to look at it that way. So this is what your customers are going to see. My logo doesn't look like it fits in there very well, but all right, whatever. I'm not going to worry about that too much. So here's, basically help me plan your next trip. I absolutely love searching, blah, blah, blah. You go on, and this is what they're going to fill out, right? Their name, all their information. And you can make this into a link. You can get this as a link. You can share it through an email. There's a lot of different ways to do this. So like I just have the link saved on my phone. And then when people ask me, oh, hey, I'm thinking about doing a trip, whatever, I just say, oh, great, fill out this request form. And then I'll, have all the information I need and I'll be in contact with you to, look at everything. So we don't have to go through all this, but I think reason for travel is a really important one. You can have multiple choice questions. You can have short response questions. You can have where they select all that apply, so they can choose more than one, right? All the different components or whatever that they need. Yeah, so this is birthdays. Okay, then here's their budget. You can put in multiple choice or however you want to do it. Are you ready to secure it with a deposit? That one I think is important too. I ask them about airplane, baggage, seats, what kind of everything. What do they want in their hotel? So anyway, you can do your own, whatever you want to have on the quote, on the request form. It's very simple too to add things to this. So the way you do it is you come down here to the bottom. Okay, I don't really want to mess with this one, so I'm going to say done, and I'm going to go back and see if I have a test one. Just because I don't want to mess up what I got. Oh, that's a message, I think. What do we got going on here? Test. Open. It doesn't want to go. I don't know. All right, well, let's start a new form. New form. We're going to call it test. And then we can label it a form, or you can label it, whatever you want, right? Okay. And then there's no question. So you're going to add a new question. All right. So you can add a question. You can add a text with an image. You can have text with an image only. Like if you just want it to be some kind of information, right? And you can also embed a calendar. So if you want them to choose a time, you can do that. So this is just asking a question. You're going to type in whatever the question is. Traveler's name. And here you decide what kind of answer do you want it to be. You want it to be short, long, multiple choice. Okay, if you click back down here on Smart Field, then it's going to put right here their name into the contact name. Okay, if we made this phone number, and we have Smart Field, then right here, you're going to change this to phone number because whatever they put there, you want it to go into phone number, right? And then it automatically does it. And it's really nice. So anyway, you can make those questions, whatever kind of questions you want. And then another great one that Travefy has, if you're doing like a credit card authorization form, you can put in their card authorization. So right here, this one has them enter like their credit card information, right? So it's going to have them put their card number, their address, all the information that they need to give for a credit card. And here you can require, is it required that they give you that information? And make sure you click yes for CVV because somehow mine got clicked no. And then I wasn't collecting CVVs and I was getting stuck on some of my stuff. So you want to make sure you collect that. The other thing that's nice in here is you can do a contact document upload. So if for you, we know that with, Archer Travel, we have to have a picture of their license and a picture of their credit card. So if you put on here a picture of credit card and then you do this contact document upload, when they get this form, they have to put a picture of it, right? And it gives them the option to upload that document by either taking a picture or dragging it and saving it, whatever. I think there's different ways. And same thing with the license, right? So picture of license. Okay, so then this can be contact document upload. So they can upload that document. You can also do like multiple choice questions. I think I showed you those, right? I haven't played around with the calendar one, so that's definitely something that, you could do if you wanted to, another option. Long answer date. So these are just some of the different things that those are the different, you can make it specifically a date if you're asking for a birthday, right? They have to put in the date. So, and again, Um, or you can make it a smart field and you can put it in as their birthday. And then it'll go under their contact information under their, and then it'll save as their birthday. I think I might need to go back and fix some of mine because I don't know that all mine are doing that. So anyway, they've added a lot of new features that are really nice. So, oh, and then I wanted to show you this. Let's go back to one of my other forms that's actually done. So like here is my request form. And if you look over here to responses, then these are the people that have sent in requests, right? And if like this girl just sent one in a couple days ago, when before it had come in, she was new. I didn't have her in as a contact. So then over here it said create new contact. And I just said yes. And then it created her contact with her name and her email automatically for me. And then it put this form in with her information. So that was really nice. That's nice that it does that for you. And same with the credit card authorization form. Right here, you have responses, and then you can see that people, when they submit the credit card authorization form, and I just have a generic one for everybody, and I send them the link. And then that way they're just making the payment through the link, which is great. But they still have to upload their credit card information. They have to upload their the picture of it, just like what Archer requires. So that's all done with all that. All right, so that was a lot of information, I know, and I hope it helped someone and that you guys can get in and start messing around with Travefy. They do offer like a free trial period. So if it's something that you want to go in and just play around with, you can go ahead and do that. And message me anytime. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to go over any of it with you. All right. Thanks so much. I'm going to stop recording and I'll look at the chat and see what questions we have and we can unmute and stuff. So let's see. All right. Thanks, everybody.